Here's a burning question for you. Is he your twin flame or is he your twin dumpster flame? Twin flame is just spiritualized, romanticized trauma bond. So I want to make this video, like, are you in a twin flame relationship or are you in a toxic relationship, trauma bonding with a person, or is there a better way of looking at relationships and a better way to attempt to find your person, the one, your soulmate? Is there like a healthier outlook? So I will answer all these questions. I just want to preface this video that it's not that I don't believe in twin flames or I don't believe in soulmates or I don't believe in karmic relationships or bonds. I definitely believe that there is synchronicity and there is mysterious forces in the universe co-creating with us to bring us opportunities and people and relationships that will help us become the version of ourselves that we're meant to become in this lifetime. I definitely believe that people come into our lives for a reason, especially the ones we form significant relationships with. I definitely believe in this idea of yuan, which is like an idea in Chinese culture, 缘分, which roughly translates to having karmic connections or having sort of unresolved stories from a previous lifetime if you believe in reincarnation. And then in this lifetime, you meet this person again in your current incarnation to resolve those things or continue to work on those things or continue on your journey together or to begin a different chapter on your cosmic timeline. So I definitely believe like we're interconnected. We're not just individual slacks of meat walking around trying to find someone that are similar to us and trying to, and settle down with them. I definitely believe that love is more than that. The truth about twin flame relationships is that it's very dangerous. Like this concept, it's easily misused. It's easily sort of added to the trauma-induced feelings of, these feelings of grandeur about love that are really projected delusions from our unresolved trauma and unhealed parts of ourselves. And it's such a slippery slope when we start to look at a relationship, especially a toxic relationship, through the lens of twin flames. Oh, this is my twin flame. We're just twin flames. This is why our relationship is so unstable and chaotic and dynamic and passionate and rocky. It's not because it's toxic or anything, or that we are just constantly trauma bonding and going through the abuse cycle or whatever. Is it twin flame or is it trauma bond? Let's take a look at some of the characteristics from a twin flames relationship and then some of the characteristics from a trauma bond. So I would like to give you a disclaimer and say that I'm not a therapist. These are just my personal findings, things I have discovered from my research and things that I have personally experienced from my relationships and the wisdom and insight that I have cultivated for myself from my own relationships. So just to keep that in mind. The first thing that characterizes a twin flame relationship is that twin flames are two halves of a soul, manifest into two individuals, and they come together in physical reality in 3D to reunite. And in this reunion, they form a relationship and they become whole and complete again. First of all, this idea that we're not complete within ourselves and that we're actually incomplete and we need another person to complete us, that's already problematic to me. That screams codependency. I don't subscribe to the idea that we are only half and we need another person to come in and now we're like complete and whole and like awesome. I don't really buy that. I don't like the idea. I find that idea very problematic and unhealthy. I think that as individuals we are complete within ourselves and on our journey of healing and on our journey to become who we're meant to become, on our journey to find more authenticity in our lives, we cultivate and develop like a deeper sense of connectedness to us and this stronger sense of completeness within us that we feel whole inside. I think feeling whole is about healing the wounds of neglect, abandonment, and healing our inner child and doing shadow work and doing the inner work so that we can feel confident and we trust ourselves and we have a healthy relationship with ourselves. That's what wholeness means to me. And this cannot be facilitated. I think someone else could participate in that journey and give you support on your own journey of becoming, but someone cannot do that work for you. Like your lover, your partner, even a friend, they can't be that person for you. They can't complete you. We cannot be completed by if you meet someone and you're like, and you suddenly feel complete, that is a major red flag. Not even the person, just your own mindset, because you shouldn't expect someone else to complete you and make you feel whole, because you need to realize that for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to attract people who will treat you less than you are and less than you deserve, because you're already regarding yourself as half. This isn't a direct comparison to a toxic relationship per se, but this is definitely one of the things that characterize a toxic relationship, is that you don't feel complete. You need someone's reassurance. You need someone to tell you who you need to be for them, so you feel complete, so you feel normal. That's basically having an unhealthy, incomplete sense of self, and that's not something another person can give us. This is one of the premises of a toxic relationship, is when you have an unstable sense of self, when you don't have a complete sense of self, you attract people who will treat you as incomplete, as less than. And right away, this is just a precursor to entering a relationship that's characterized by trauma bonding. Yeah, we're already off on an unhealthy start. You can see why I'm a little allergic to twin flames, just because it's just Twin flames is also characterized by this feeling of deep spiritual love, feeling you're deeply connected with someone, like it's a cosmic bond, like nothing could separate you. This is not a direct comparison to what happens in the trauma bond per se, but this is sort of like a precursor to entering like a toxic relationship that has trauma bonding. Because if you're looking for that deep feeling of the one, butterflies in your chest, this poetic, inexplicable, larger than life feeling that you get to experience with someone, and it just completely overwhelms you, and then you feel like you're afloat and you're in the clouds, and you call that love, and that's the one thing you look for when you're gauging if you should be in a relationship with someone or not. That's dangerous, because to me it eradicates common sense, and it sort of completely negates the parameters for a healthy relationship, like what you should be, like the typical considerations for it to see if a person is healthy or not, to see if a person, like if you can build a healthy relationship with this person or not. Things like trust, emotional maturity, emotional awareness, communication, healthy communication styles. Can they regulate their nervous system, or are they kind to you? Do they, things like that, like healthy qualities and a healthy individual that will allow you to co-create a healthy relationship with. Just looking for that one feeling that just like the hallmark of twin flame relationships, or even soulmate relationships sometimes, or that first love at first sight nonsense. Those are signs of trauma bonding. If you experience butterflies in your chest, it sounds so poetic and so romantic, but that's actually a sign of trauma bonding, because your nervous system and your body is sensing danger, is anticipating danger. So what you think is your excitement is actually nervousness, anxiety, and fear. We're like already off to a bad start, and this is and it just gets worse. And on the topic of having a deep spiritual feeling, does this twin flame relationship feel destined? It feels like you've always known this person, and that there's this instant sense of recognition. That's literally one of the first signs of trauma bonding. If you have unresolved trauma or unhealed parts of yourself, if you have unhealed wounds of neglect and abandonment, if you grew up in an unstable home, or you've been in toxic relationships before, and you just have an unhealed wound there, and you see this person, they feel like home, it's because they feel dangerous, they feel abusive, even they feel problematic, and they feel like this thing that you've experienced before. I think it was the book The Mountain Is You by, I forgot the name of the author, but I'll put it on the screen. I remember they were saying that our nervous system is actually not wired for change. It's wired to stay the same, positive or negative. So when you're used to being in negative dynamics and relationships, and you haven't experienced healthy relationships yet, and you come across this concept of a twin flame, it's this beautiful, grand, cosmic thing. It feels so cinematic. It feels destined, and it really feels your despair for something healthy, for true love, for connection, for attention, for someone to just see you for you and to tell you that you exist is already hard enough to navigate people as it is, and all of a sudden there's this pretty idea that you get to be in a twin flame relationship and it's destiny. It's so easy to use that to just bypass all the red flags, especially if you don't have experiences with identifying red flags or red flags for you as an individual before. And it's just so dangerous. It's just like that feeling of that the sensations of feeling destined is actually your nervous system saying, this is home. This is what we're used to. We're used to anxiety and neglect and instability and mistreatment. This is what we're used to, and we need to create more of this reality because this is our comfort zone. Even though it's negative, even though we suffer and we're in pain, we need to do this. We need to claim the space as our own. We need to attach ourselves to this person to experience this because this is our comfort zone. Feeling destined and feeling you're at home with this person can actually be a bad thing because it could just be your body, your nervous system telling you that this is the bad that we're used to. We need more of it instead of going after positive, healthy relationships. Another thing that defines the twin flame relationship is that it's defined by this constant push and pull, and that it's explosive, it's passionate, it's like a Hollywood film, it's like all the thrills and all the adrenaline, it's like exciting. This is literally the one thing that made me go like, hang on a second, this sounds exactly like trauma bond. This sounds like that graph, that abuse cycle chart that I've been seeing over the internet. Not over the internet, but I follow a lot of like mental health therapy accounts on Instagram and TikTok, so I get exposed to this stuff pretty often. This reminds me of that cycle of tension building, and then there's a conflict, and then you have like a makeup period where you experience affection, and the person who hurt you is like trying to tell you like, oh, they love you, they will never do this again, and then like you feel bonded and connected, like, oh, it's just the best time in the world. And when you are like in a toxic relationship where affection and genuine love is scarce, you will hold on to whatever it is that you're given. And then you get that affection phase, and then you go to like a period of peace, and then the tension builds from all the little red flags and mistreatment and toxic behaviors that you're kind of letting slide, and then boom, another conflict. So that push and pull it's literally trauma bonding. Like, it's like when I was looking up just what makes a twin flame relationship and then what is trauma bond. This is literally the push and pull that defines that cycle of abuse. And need I say more? It's like, if you feel like, yeah, like we had like this, we had some conflict, we were fighting, and then all of a sudden we make up, and they show me how much they love me. They show me how much I'm worth to them. They tell me all these things. They love bomb me. They make me feel like I'm the most important person in the world. They apologize. They're guilty. They say they will never do it again. And then you go through this honeymoon phase. And then things are good for a while. And then boom, another episode. So it's kind of like, if you're addicted to drama, or if you're used to drama, if you're used to people acting like inconsistent, if you're used to people who are good to you just to like soothe over the conflict, it's so easy to fall prey to that cycle and call that twin flame. And think that it's a twin flame relationship, because I think when we're stuck in a toxic relationship, we really want to believe that they're good. We think that, oh, because they're our partner, they're our boyfriend, lover, husband, or whatever, like when they're our intimate partner, we don't want to judge them as bad. We want to believe that they're good to us, and we want to believe that, oh, because we are in a relationship with them, and it wouldn't be normal if they mistreat us, or it must be because of some other reason. It must be because they are going through something, or it must be because they have some childhood trauma and they're in their shadow, or it must be because they're busy with work, or they're just swamped. They just don't have the bandwidth, or this is a twin flame relationship. Like, we want to find excuses to kind of feed that delusion of the delusion that we're not being mistreated and we're not being abused or belittled or bullied or neglected or whatever. We want to find that story to gaslight ourselves into trying to feel normal, because I think that's what our brain and what our nervous system, like when we're confused and we don't know how to navigate relationships with tight boundaries and self-respect. That's what we try to do, like as a whole. Like when we're confused, we try to look for stories. We do like story making. We try to make sense of things. So twin flame, here comes twin flame, this beautiful concept that you are in this cosmic bond. It's so convenient. Like you can just grab it and all of a sudden you're not in a toxic relationship. You're not being abused or mistreated. You are just in a twin flame relationship, and it's beautiful. You can see why I'm like allergic to the idea of a twin flame relationship. No one is like consciously and intentionally saying like, I'm going to insert this overlay and wear these rose tinted glasses and not look at the fact that we are being mistreated and that this person is unkind to us. It's really this complex mental process of trying to make sense of the confusion and pain that we're experiencing because, you know, like sometimes that's all we know and we don't know coping mechanisms, or we don't know how to set boundaries. We don't know how to get out of bad situations. We don't have positive and healthy role models of all that. Twin flame becomes like a very convenient excuse that feeds into that delusion, and that feeds into the toxic dynamics that occur in a trauma bond relationship. Another thing, when I was researching twin flames, I will list all the websites that I visited down below. It's characterized by insecurities and doubt. Isn't it obvious at this point that the reason why a twin flame relationship is characterized by insecurities and doubt is because you're in a toxic relationship? You will experience insecurities and doubt in healthy relationships or in non-toxic situations. I think it's just part of being human. So I'm not saying like being in a right relationship or being in a healthy relationship will automatically cure you of your ache of being human. It will just delete all your insecurities, and all of a sudden you're like this person transformed and just forever done with your healing journey. That's not how relationships work. So I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not saying like once you're in a relationship, you just have no doubt and no insecurities whatsoever because you're just supposed to feel perfect all the time. I think when we're constantly experiencing doubt and insecurity, especially when we're with this person that we call our twin flame connection or partner, and we experience insecurities all the time, they're making us feel bad about ourselves, they're destabilizing our sense of self, they're chipping away at our confidence, our self-esteem is just plummeting, and no matter how hard we try, we still end up feeling worse and worse and worse, and we doubt ourselves, we doubt our experiences, we doubt our emotions. When your sense of self is constantly being destabilized, you know, when this person's gaslighting you all the time, telling you that you're too emotional, your experiences don't matter, or you're overreacting, or you're this and that, it's not because you're in a twin flame relationship, it's because you're with someone who mistreats you and doesn't want to take accountability. And I know that's a tough pill to swallow. No one wants to kind of break away from this delusion or admit that they're participating in this delusion or created that delusion in the first place. But a healthy relationship should definitely foster the opposite of those things, such as instead of insecurity, it should actually help you, allow you to feel more supported in building your own confidence. Instead of doubt, you should feel anchored in the consistency that this person is bringing you, and you can continue to build trust with this person and co-create a relationship / environment that's supportive of your growth. Those things the trust and confidence should be increasing in a relationship that's right, and not decreasing. And slapping twin flame on toxic dynamics like this is so dangerous. You deserve more. Like, because it feels like it's going to take work to find the healthy person, or it's going to take work to be away from that toxic individual, but it's because you deserve to have a healthy relationship. And on top of that, you deserve to have a healthy relationship with yourself and a healthy relationship with someone else, and just have all the health and wellness. And I think healthy relationships, like the word health doesn't inspire romance, like it doesn't feel really romantic. Twin flame feels deeply romantic, soulmate feels deeply romantic, but a healthy relationship sounds kind of boring if you're like a romantic, and if you just want something magical to hold on to as you wade through like a pool of crap in this world. Like when you don't feel happy, you want to live in the daydream or fantasy that someone is perfect and that this relationship or experience is somehow destined. I came across this idea of soulmates versus roommates. So healthy love versus trauma bond or toxic relationships. And I just really love the term soulmate versus woommate, and I kind of just want to like quickly go through this chart just to end this video on I don't know if it's a positive note, but on a more constructive note. And I just came across this chart that lists the qualities of being with a soulmate versus being a woommate. Soulmates, aka healthy love, feel safe, stable, and consistent. There's mutual expression and desire, feels nurturing and soulful. You're both emotionally present and available. There's freedom within the togetherness. Love flows without fear or force. You grow together. There's a sense of deep peace and trust. Versus a wound mate, which is a trauma bond, aka toxic relationship. It feels erratic and unpredictable, just like a twin flame relationship. There's intense chemistry and sexual desire, just like a twin flame relationship. Forced to self-abandon to not be abandoned. Emotional unavailability or inconsistency. The push and pull dynamic of characterizing a twin flame relationship. Obsessive thoughts, fantasy, urgency to secure connection. I think most articles I've read about twin flames, from what I could remember, always highlight this intense feeling, this quick to bond kind of thing. Intense highs and lows can break the toxic cycle. Are you in a twin flame relationship, or are you just in a toxic relationship, or with someone toxic? Is there a better way to think about this? Yes. So I think I would say the takeaway of this video, or like a better way to look at this, is instead of wanting to be in a twin flame relationship, instead of pursuing these ideas of, you know, finding your soulmate or finding the one or being in a twin flame relationship or finding something so deeply spiritual, cosmic, blah blah blah, maybe the healthy thing to do, and something that would actually allow you to create an experience and move you towards a healthy relationship and a fulfilling relationship, is to define what that soulful love is for yourself. What does your soul need? What do you want as an individual? What makes your soul happy and whole and thriving and deeply connected? Because I think those are the things and traits and qualities that we seek after when we are looking at a twin flame relationship, or even yearning for one, or wanting a soulmate, or whatever. It's like we crave this feeling of deep connection, passion, and emotional intimacy. We want to feel like this person is right for us, that they're so right that it feels destined. And I think those feelings can be real in a healthy context. I think they can be real when we know who we are and we know what we want. Those things can take time to find, but I think it's like a worthy endeavor to embark on, because we all deserve to have a love like that. We deserve to have someone in our corner embarking on this journey of messy life with us, and to feel deeply nourished and loved, to feel kindness and compassion, to feel deeply connected, to feel like you're not alone in this world, to find your person. So instead of taking ideas that are outside of us unexamined, like looking for a twin flame soulmate relationship, who would be your soulmate? What does true love mean? What does true love mean for you? You can even come up with your own metaphor to describe your ideal healthy relationship. I think it's important for us to know what we truly want in a relationship and what makes it healthy for us. Before you go, I actually made 2 videos on true love and relationships from last year. I will put those on the screen right now, and please go check them out. What was the thing that triggered you the most in this video, if any? And if you weren't triggered, what was the thing that you resonated with the most? What do you think of this whole twin flame thing? Have you ever been in a twin flame relationship? Do you feel the same way as me or not? Would you like to challenge? Please leave in the comments below. I would love to hear what you think about this video and what your thoughts are on twin flames and your experiences with twin flame relationships, whether it's like being in one or just kind of engaging with this whole concept. Please let me know. I'm very, very interested. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and share this video with a friend who is obsessed with twin flames, or who is in a twin flame relationship, or who is interested in this topic. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video until the end. Happy Valentine's Day. All right, until next time, see ya. That is all.